What's good? What's good? What's good, Cowboys Nation? How y'all doing tonight? Hey, happy hump day. We're in the middle of the week. Hope you guys by now are off work with a drink in your hand and your feet up. Welcome to StarChasers, Girls Talk Ball. Hope you guys are doing very well tonight. What's going on, Star? How you doing?
What's up, Mickey? Glad to see you tonight. Glad to see everybody in the chat tonight. We have an exciting show today where we will be doing a slight recap of the our first preseason game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then we'll also be talking about our upcoming game versus the Seattle Sea Chickens. So let's go ahead and get this show rocking tonight. What's up, Key? Glad to see you in the building. Dak on Filthy, glad to see you.
Thanks everybody for tapping in. How you guys doing tonight? Red Rebel was good. Raymond Salas, as usual. The fam in the building. James Simmons, how y'all doing? Cameron was good. Was good. Jay Worthy, my twin brother, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Cameron was good. Thanks for checking in. Glad to see everybody. Yeah, glad to see everybody tonight. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, just like Star said, hope we got a fire show for you guys tonight. Just just do a quick recap of the week. I know you guys have heard it. Pretty much probably heard it all by now. We just want to go with our two perspectives, going and just capping off I think a good pretty good weekend for the first game of the preseason, and just going into what I think is going to be just another exciting exhibition, just seeing our guys just do their thing out there.
Absolutely. And I think this week we'll have slightly better or more competition for our wide receivers, as well as our cornerbacks, I believe. I don't know if we've heard yet if Pete Carroll has announced if he's going to be starting his starters, but even if he doesn't start, like DK Metcalf, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think many of their stars are going to start, but I do just doing this small research, just because they're going to play them next. I did see that some of the players on the defense, they did say that players that played on the defense are going to get snaps in the regular season, but it didn't necessarily say that they were starters. But it is good, to go up against some guys who are actually going to see some tick.
Yes, I think so too. I think. So there should be a little bit more competition. Obviously, I think Jackson Smith and Jigba, their draft pick. Obviously, he was top five wide receiver coming out of college by many scouts and those who study and review the draft. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be competition for guys like Kelvin Joseph and Nashawn Wright to go against him.
Actually, now that you brought him up, I think I seen earlier this week that Nashawn Wright was dealing with some kind of like a small slight injury he had that maybe he got over the weekend. I don't know how serious it was. I think I may have seen it in practice this week, but they say he had some kind of injury. If anybody in the chat heard of it, let me know. I forget who I seen tweet it out, but they said it wasn't anything major, but they did say that he was in a walking group, I believe, either through walkthroughs on Monday or when he started to practice on Tuesday. So hopefully he was able to get through that.
Oh damn! Well, it's never good when you face injury in camp and preseason, because it just sets you back and it just gives other guys a chance. Devon Witherspoon. That's Mickey and I were talking yesterday. I couldn't remember. I'm like, I think Seattle drafted another corner, top corner. Of course, they had my guy from UTSA. What is his name? I can't think of the cornerback's name, but he was in the running for defensive rookie of the year. Tariq Woolen.
Oh, Woolen.
Yeah, Tariq Woolen. And then now they have Devon Witherspoon, which was also a top 5 corner coming out of this year's draft. So definitely going to be more competition for those guys. Before we get into content, I would ask that you guys would please like this video. Please like this video on both of our channels. Please share the video.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe as well. Everybody, that would really be great. And as well, we also ask that you guys yes, thank you, Keith. We ask that you guys donate to our channels. We had our cash apps. I think Mickey can put it back on the screen, but our cash apps are there for you guys. And also, please follow us on all of our social medias. YouTube, Twitter, as well as Instagram. I have my socials all down in the description of my video, so you guys can go down there and look it up and follow me. But
yeah, so as you guys both know, we had our final practices. I believe our final padded practices in Oxnard. I believe today and yesterday, and I don't know if you've been following the news from today. Before we jump too much into the presentation, I don't know if you saw how it got kind of chippy out there, amongst our players.
Oh yeah, I saw it for sure. I definitely tweeted. I definitely tweeted about it. I said, "Dang, Biotis hit the F."
Right.
Had a Sam Williams, and Biotis actually started scuffles.
The last one who I would have thought. I know,
but Biotis actually, I think he has been getting into some scuffles, but that's crazy. I mean, he flipped Sam Williams, and then
off his feet.
Yes. Then he's getting into a Michael, but honestly, I love that fire, and I'm very proud of Biotis. And here's why: because the one thing that I said, the reason why I wanted to replace Biotis, I know people thought it was crazy. He's a Pro Bowler and all this. Hey Nisi, thank you for tuning in our channels. I appreciate that. Nisi be rocking with me Monday nights and today, so I really appreciate that. But what was I gonna say? Oh, one thing that I wanted out of our center, I was like, I just want a nasty center. The center over there from Bucksland, Jensen. Like,
he's known for his grittiness.
Kelsey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I want to say that's like mean, and that's the anchor of our line. And that was the one thing that I just felt like Biotis just did not have in him. So I'm glad that he's showing this fire, and hopefully he brings.
But it's the wrong guys though. Like, why do you have to do them like that? Wow.
Well, it's just competition. They just out there mad, but it's like y'all need to use. What's up, J Money? We need to see that aggression. You know what I'm saying? You gotta practice.
I agree with you.
You gotta practice how you play. So
like you said, it's good to see them, get it out somehow, because like you said, it's with it being the final pattern practice, especially going against your own guys, by now they're tired of seeing them. They want to see somebody else.
Right, they want to see somebody else.
Especially after just playing another team, you don't want to go back against your guys. Right. They pumped up and ready. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So they ready to get it popping, and I'm very excited about that. I love the fire from our guys. I just think that that's important, and that's something that we need, because I
was gonna say, I ain't trying to be funny, but I hope that they show that on the line, because we're gonna need that.
Yep, we're gonna need that nastiness. We're gonna need that tenacity, and we're just gonna need our guys really to. It just seems like they're just so locked in and just really focused. This year of just disproving all the narratives. I feel like we disproved it last year, but this year we're trying to prove that, like, we're the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? I think there was talks last year. Y'all remember during training camp when we went against the Chargers, people saying, "Oh, it's Dallas, is y'all
right?" And the Broncos, when we had to go back and quote unquote see Gregory and all that.
Right. We always getting talked about. We not this, and we can't win. We can't do this. We can't do that. So I think.
And Gregory wasn't even suited up. Whole time he was on the sideline.
I know. Freaking Randy Gregory. What is he?
Right.
Freaking Randy Gregory. I don't even know what Randy.
All people, right.
But regardless, like, exactly like Cameron said, we're not taking no shit.
Right. Period.
This year from nobody. We're just
not even from your old man. So you ain't gonna take it from nobody else.
Exactly. So it's like, I'm not gonna take it from my teammate, and I'm for sure not about to take it from the ops. So
right, for sure.
I'm glad to see that. We need to get it popping. But let's go ahead and get into this.
Yeah, just want to do this quick review right quick. As you guys already know, we had that game over the weekend against the Jags, and I just wanted to come up, just put a few of our star players up on the screen. And you guys Overshown, aka Agent O, showed out. As you guys seen, from my intro yesterday, he was the first one out on the field, and it's just very important for him to just be very physical in these games. And I think we saw him show his some real grit out there, and I think it just has an overflow impact on the other players. We also saw Clark out there moving fast. It was great, and we even saw Jabril Cox trying to step up a little bit out there.
We did. We saw all of these guys really step up, and the key to why our linebackers were able to flow and fly around was because of that middle. And also the edges. We're going to talk about our defensive ends, but Sam Williams, Dante Fowler really keeping contained, which therefore allowed our players to fly around. Mozzie Smith, sorry guys, I didn't mean to do that, but Mozzie Smith as well as
Osa
Digizua, them clogging up that middle really allowed our, and taking up those double teams really, and with Mozzie, he's taking up triple. By the end of the day, they triple team him because he literally is unblockable. Unblockable 101. So them taking up all those linemen just allowed our linebackers to just flow free. They didn't have to deal with 300-pound linemen coming at them. So just so glad to see the players really step up.
Yeah,
got our guy Dusvon there. What a phenomenal job by
Jalen Tolbert.
Jalen Tolbert. I mean, both of those guys, I could not be more proud of Dusvon and Jalen Tolbert, the way that those two really showed up.
Yes, facts.
And showed consistency and showed who they are.
And their confidence is really shining through early. I mean, early produced, but it's really shining through for Jalen Tolbert right now.
Right. His confidence is through the roof, and we can continue to see how he's progressing. Even in practice yesterday, him making that catch. I mean, Jalen Tolbert is really confident, and that's what you need as a wide receiver. You need confidence.
Yeah.
Same thing for a cornerback. You have to have confidence. You have to have a certain swag, a certain aura about you, right? So that you can be able to play how you want to play and dominate. So just great job for all of these guys. We don't have Damone Clark on the screen, but Damone Clark was phenomenal. Just flying around, reading.
Yeah, John Stevens. You know, we're gonna talk about the Titans a little bit later, but you know, he was one of the guys who kind of stood out late in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Trying to be able to connect with him.
Right. Really, these players really stepped up, and I really do appreciate that. There was a lot of guys that stepped up. You guys can check out Mickey and I's videos that we did this week. Mine on Monday. I think Mickey went live yesterday.
Yeah, just last night.
Y'all can see our full review of each player and what we thought they did in that preseason game. But just great job from those guys.
Yeah, some real standout players right there for real. I'm definitely excited to see them coming up this week. Because I mean, as we all know, I'm sure Two-Star that the unofficial depth chart came out again for the Seahawks, but we all know that nothing much really changed. So I think if anything, they'll change maybe the order they played in, or I'm hoping they see, hoping we see Deuce a little bit earlier. But I think we're gonna see some of the same guys out there.
That's what I'm hoping for. Guys like Deuce, Jabril Cox, Neville Gallimore, who else? Simi. I would like to see these guys earlier because
exactly. And Jalen Brooks too. I want to see him just a little bit earlier too.
I would like to see those guys earlier. I would like to see those guys targeted earlier, just because I felt like they did, like Simi and who else did I name? Simi, Neville. All of those guys did show up, but they were playing against the third, right?
Right.
Stringers, and I would like to see them playing against the second string or potentially some starters.
Yeah, at least
so we could get a better evaluation on them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, as we know, other big news this week. We saw Zach Martin get his contract. Just before Monday or before Tuesday's practice.
Yes,
and of course, we all know they're very we all know very excited to be able to get our captain back in the building.
Yep, absolutely. So everybody, Cowboys Nation, can stop panicking. I know people were so perturbed and scared because of our offensive line didn't look great. But me and Mickey spoke about this yesterday, and I said, well, the silver lining is we're never going to have the most experienced guy on our starting lineup on Saturday was literally Matt Farniok.
Right, exactly.
So y'all have to remember we were playing with a rookie in Austin Richards, an undrafted free agent who's also a rookie.
Almost half our depth is undrafted, honestly.
Right. So it's like you guys have to remember that. And when you're young, offensive line is all about like chemistry and knowing your when to pass a guy off and combo sets and all that stuff. The guys just they didn't have that veteran out there to help them get acclimated, so they were literally just kind of learning on the job.
Right, exactly. Right, because the coaches don't have time to get to each person individually, so you learn on the fly out there.
Right, like you gotta learn on top of trying to block the number 1 draft pick, Trayvon Walker, and Josh Allen, he was the number 1 draft pick, but he was a first-round draft pick. Like it was pretty difficult, but from what we did see some good things from some of those guys. I think it's just our offensive line just has to build chemistry. So that offensive line didn't have chemistry. That's why they didn't look too good. But yes, the general Zach the Mac man is back. So I'm sure everybody is excited about that. I always do. I was like, we have to give him what he wants. And it's just, I was just saying, be petty, let him get them fines. But
right, and he sure did that. Yeah,
exactly. But I was always saying, I'm like, we're gonna give him a deal, like close either right before the season starts or after they leave out of Oxnard. So we got that done. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So as we see, I mean, just going off what I saw in the game, I just saw, really 2 guys I really wasn't familiar with. And I just think, I think we kind of mentioned it in our last show, Star, where, when we saw Junior Fajoko not being able to get, those snaps in this last game because of that shoulder strain he got. So we kind of touched on how Isaiah Land, and I believe also, I believe his name is Tyrell Johnson. I'm not sure of his first name, but I believe his last name is Johnson. And also Ben Banogu getting some snaps in there. And we actually saw them kind of do some things on the field.
Right. I was highly impressed by Ben Banogu specifically.
Yeah.
He seemed to, in my show Monday, I say he kind of gave me Randy Gregory-ish vibes. Not saying he's Randy Gregory, but from his build, his height, he seemed to consistently be, like Mickey said, applying that pressure and stuff like that, getting QB, and he got a QB hit in the tackle. I think, that's not a tackle for loss, it's a tackle, but he did end up getting, QB hit and stuff like that. And this is a guy that's like at the bottom of our, not the bottom, he's pretty far down. But I think he was able to show some good things. So I don't know if
because he was definitely back in that pocket. You know what I'm saying? More than others. I definitely saw his night. And I kept saying who's like you said Randy Gregory, and he used to wear that same number. So I'm like, well, who did they give his number to?
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely getting that pressure. And I think Isaiah, toward the end, I think it was the fourth. I think it may have been the fourth quarter or so.
Yeah, fourth quarter, he was definitely present a lot.
Right, he started turning up. So maybe, with these guys, turning up like that against, the third and the fourth string, that Dan Quinn will give them, have them on the field a little bit earlier. Because I do feel like at this point, we know who Dante Fowler and Sam Williams are.
Right, exactly. I'm starting to love that combo, Sam Williams and Dante Fowler. Like you said, on the edges is a great combination.
Right, that combination was great. And I feel like you can give those guys less snaps, just let them play the first quarter or just a couple of snaps. But after that, I think you really should, this game should primarily be letting the depth who showed flashes or really showed up, letting them play earlier. That's how I feel like they should handle it. But we'll have to see how they do it on Saturday. So
I agree with you there, and kind of the same thing we talked about with Ben, and kind of the same thing with Land. I was hearing his name a lot in the fourth quarter, kind of like you said, kind of late. Like you said, I would love to see them kind of earlier in the game, like you said, against some twos, and but potential. I don't know. I doubt we're seeing any starters on the offensive side as far as the Seahawks,
right?
Even just seeing them, just against, Smith, like you said, Smith, he's a quick one out there. Let's see, he's making some plays. They have another player over there. I believe his name is Jack Boba. I believe his name is. They said he was making some plays over there. So they definitely still have some problems on their hand, with this young team.
Yeah, for sure. And we just want to see them play a little bit sooner so they can play against better competition. And apparently, I didn't watch the video. I just saw a preview, but there's some guy making an argument that the Seattle Seahawks offensive line is top 5 in the league. I'm like, I don't know how they became top 5. Yeah, he's saying it's top 5. I don't know if they had a phenomenal game this. I'm gonna look into that then. But the man said he thinks they're top 5 in the league. I know that they did get Cross, but from last year he was a top 10 pick. But I don't know if they added this year, so I don't know how he's making. I didn't watch the video. Maybe I'll go watch the video and see like why he said that. But he is making the argument that the Seattle Seahawks have a very good offensive line. So I don't know if those guys will be starting or not.
Because I don't maybe like you said, maybe they're starters. Because I was just watching. I maybe watched like a couple quarters of the game. I didn't watch the whole thing. Just being honest, but it seemed like their left tackle was having some trouble on that side. So I mean, I saw that as a spot of weakness they have. But I mean, like I know, like we both know, it's preseason. It's not the starters. So I mean, like I said, but I'm sure we're not going to see the stars either to be able to judge that. Top five. We're not going to be playing them. At least not the starters. So I mean, we're trying to see how they look out there. With the second team.
Right. We're going to see how they look, but hopefully these guys show up.
Yeah. But moving on to I just kind of touched on a little bit earlier our tight end battle. We just I think it just got just a little bit more interesting. With Stevens kind of doing this thing, out there. Finally being able to connect with Greer in the fourth quarter. We know it kind of took a few attempts for them to kind of and kind of in it. Not saying it fell on either player, but kind of took a few attempts for Greer to kind of connect with other receivers as well. So finally being able to see him kind of get a touchdown. Kind of get, you should speed the game, get out there, making some plays. I think he kind of did some of the first confidence.
Yeah, I do think so too. With Stevens, like Mickey said, he did turn up in that fourth quarter, toward the end of the fourth quarter, which is always good, right? When your quarterback, continues to go to you. I think he did get a touchdown and stuff like that. It does mean that you're getting open, you're getting separation, and he trusts you, right? So, shout out to John Stevens for showing up the way that he did. I think he definitely put more pressure on Hendershot, who did not have a great game. I don't think he was targeted much, and he didn't really look too great in blocking. So,
Right. Just being real, I mean, they playing for spots out there,
Right. He's really going to have to Hendershot really going to have to show up more this week. Hopefully Mike get some plays out there where he's like the first read so that he's targeted just to try to build up his confidence because he was
it seemed to help him out in the first couple of practices as far as camp. Dak kind of went to him more. He didn't stop. He kind of talked to him and got his confidence back up. So it might help in game as well.
Yeah, he definitely needs a little confidence boost. So I don't think the Seattle Seahawks linebackers are much. Their safeties, I'm not sure, but I don't think that they're. Well, they have.
I think they. Cause I was looking at like some of the players. I think they just got Bush in the offseason, Devin Bush in the offseason.
Oh, well, Devin Bush is pretty good. I think Devin Bush has just suffered from injury, so we'll see. But I definitely think
they said he did good. I mean, it's preseason. I'm sure he has to play for his job. Like everybody else. So he had the highest. I think I have it later on the slide. I mean, coming up soon. They said he had the highest PFF for run defense. So I think he's somebody you have to watch out for. Yeah,
Devin Bush is definitely a monster. He's definitely a 4.4 guy. Super athletic, quick guy. So I was pushing for I would have wanted Devin Bush, but we didn't get him, so it is what it is. But Hendershot. Hopefully we can target him. Mike can draw up some plays to try to give him some confidence. Sean McEwen. Sean McEwen is just the most steady guy. He's just a really steady guy. Like
to me, he's like just like I don't want to say like a filler, but someone they can depend on. If the first couple of guys are who they think they are.
Right. He's dependable. We play him a lot at fullback.
Like insurance. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And he was actually Luke Shoemaker's like mentor because they both came out of Michigan and stuff. So we
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. Shoemaker had said it. Right after he was drafted on the draft interviews and stuff like that. But McEwen, he's just a presence. He's that veteran presence that you want in your building because he just does the small, like unnoticeable things. But I think he definitely brings a veteran leadership to that tight end room, that's needed for sure.
Like you said, a lot of guys. I mean, well, not a lot of guys, but Hendershot, Ferguson, they both came in last year. McKeon's really the only, after Dalton left.
Right. Yeah. Right. He's the oldest guy in the room, I think, or not. Maybe not the. Yeah, he's older because I know.
Yeah,
he's the oldest guy. and veteran in the room. So I really think his presence is needed and wanted. We didn't put Shoemaker on here, but Shoemaker did a good, decent job, but he also played super late. So
and I think honestly, I mean, like you kind of talked about before. I think that might be why I didn't put him on here. I think because I mean, we kind of know they kind of hang on the draft picks, and I think Schoonmakers are I'll go ahead and continue to say I'm still surprised he's getting work out there. So I want to see him in the Seahawks game and see just how much more work they decide to put on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I would like to, and I do think they load managed him because obviously injured. So, but I would like to see Mike target him and see if he can turn up. He did do a decent job when he was targeted. He did catch the ball last week. And also he did a good job blocking. There were some runs that Shoemaker.
Yeah, I believe he blocked on the drive where when Dennis Houston caught the ball. I think he had like a good early it was like early in the fourth quarter early in the third quarter I went to go rewatch the game and I was like I must have missed all this like when Schoonmaker was doing this thing when Houston was doing this thing because I was kind of wondering why people were mentioning their name and I was like I didn't really see a lot from them but kind of rewatching the game I was like okay so they their names are still kind of out there in the running, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree. So hopefully we see, but yeah, the tight end 2 battle is definitely cooking up. Yeah. To me, Hendershot's spot at tight end 2 is not guaranteed. And I tell you this, if he's not tight end 2, I don't see him getting much playing time because right now we know that Luke Shoemaker and McEwen are better blockers than him.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to be tight end 2, which means we're not going to really use you as pass catching much, that means we will throw you in for blocking, and that's not Hendershot's strong suit. So
right, and he can't forget that he's undrafted, so he doesn't necessarily have a solidified spot.
Right, he does not have a solidified spot. We do know, from what we saw last year. I mean, he definitely has athletic ability, but that's not enough. It's not enough, and on top of that, what else with him? Oh, and the drops. So that's what I was
interceptions.
Targeting more to see if he's got those dropsies out of him. So.
Right, exactly. Shout out to Choctaw in the building. Sorry we're getting to you a little bit late. We're trying to get to this presentation, y'all. Just know we see y'all in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. We appreciate y'all.
Choctaw, glad to see you.
And actually, guys, I don't know if you're in the building tonight, JB, B-Boy. You came through last night through my live and kind of mentioned how you want just a little bit more information on Bohanna. And actually, I just want to say thank you because just being honest, I actually didn't really look too much at Bohanna and Gallimore and, just kind of bring them up because they're both right there in the middle. And I really honestly didn't pay too much attention because I'm thinking, Bohanna, kind of, I don't say solidified, but he has time here. He should be teaching up, the young guys in the middle. But actually going back and just in my opinion, just strictly me from what I've seen, just watching Bohanna, I would say he's actually kind of, I don't say taking a step back, but I think for me personally, I want to see Bohanna just do a little bit more in upcoming games because just for me, seeing how he kind of played, I don't say he played lazy, but for me, I just seen that he was just kind of going through the motions out there. I seen him, of course, pushing guys in the middle, pushing guys back, but it seemed like he would be close to the play and the running back would slip right by him, or, he would be right in the area, or he would just, stop running, or just he wasn't putting, for me, just enough effort for it to, because I seen one play where the running back, I believe, gained 15 to 20 yards because he didn't maybe reach his hand out. So I just want to see just a little bit more effort on Bohanna.
He was trying to chase the guy down, but he wasn't able to get there. I would like to see from Bo. I said that his stock is even because he didn't do worse than what I thought, but he also didn't do better. So I think that he's kind of become complacent because obviously Mozzie Smith was our first round pick, and and everybody talk about he's unblockable and all this stuff. Then you have Jonathan Hankins, which is our veteran presence that we brought in.
We brought back.
We brought back. So I think he's just become complacent, but I don't think that's a wise move to do that because it's like you're still a nose tackle. I still would hope that we would go with 3 nose tackles just because there's always a possibility of injury. Jonathan Hankins is older.
And he was out last year.
Right, and so Jonathan missed time last year. So for Big Bo, he needs to try harder. We would like to see you try harder and really play with effort, Bo. Big Bo. I just think that, you can't just go through the motion just because you're now the second or third string. Well, you're the third string nose tackle.
Yeah.
Like, you still go out there, you still play your heart out. You put it on the line because, I mean, if you want to be on this team, that's the type of people we need from the top of the roster to the bottom. If you're focused on I want to be a starter or whatever, then you may find yourself potentially cut.
Right.
But
I agree. Just like we saw with Gallimore last year, we all thought he was, going to show out or show us something. The next thing we know, he was on the, healthy scratch list, and we're like, what's going on?
We all thought the writing was on the wall with Gallimore, and Gallimore looked in the preseason game. He's great on some plays. He's getting pushed back. He's on the ground other plays. He struggles with consistency. I think overall he had a pretty decent game, but he needs to be out there. The fact that Gallimore is a 4-year guy and Mozzie and Oso Odighizuwa are on the field before him. It's just not good. We just need more from him. We just need more from Neville. We need you to show us.
Especially seeing the continued progression of Osa. We see
like Osa.
We just see him doing more. Yeah.
Osa is so strong. He looks like he's gotten stronger.
Yes. And more precise with his game.
Yeah, it's just making me think more and more like, why do we even need Neville Gallimore? At this point. Yeah. But I think because we also have Chauncey Golston. Then they also have Junior Fehoko that they're trying to move to 3 tech. So Neville, we just need to see more. We need to see way more from you. We need to see consistency. I don't like that you're a 4th-year player and I still see you getting pushed back. I still see you on the ground at times. And then you'll do a flash play, where he'll shoot to the backfield. But it's just not consistent. It's not consistent from him. So we just need to see more.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No. I agree with you on that. And even just from this game, just like you said, we were speaking on last year, but we've kind of seen the same things, just in this game, just a couple of days ago. So these guys have to consider, how, like we've been speaking on pretty much all off season, the depth behind these guys. People are hungry to play. They're fighting for spots. So getting complacent is definitely not a good idea.
Not a good idea at all. Yeah. So definitely got to show up for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've been talking about this whole time. We got this game coming up here on Saturday, 10 p.m. It's a little late, for those of us on the East Coast, but hey, I'm off Sunday.
For late game.
I'm off Sunday, so I'm a power through.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so just some of the things, like I said, I didn't watch to be honest, I didn't watch the whole I believe it was a Seattle versus the Vikings, but just kind of, just looking up, just doing some research on how they did do in the game. And just kind of check out just some of the things that I think, some of these guys, I'm not going to say they're going to struggle against, but just some things that they may, take into account that they have to go up against, just as we mentioned earlier, the run defense, actually, before touching on that, I do want to see Deuce Vaughn out there earlier. I don't know, who maybe they're going to start. They did say Deuce was getting more runs with the first team this week. His last couple.
Yeah. They did say he was getting reps with the one. So yeah, definitely would like to see Deuce out there earlier for sure.
Yeah. I also want to see Rico out there. Like I said, me personally, like I said, these are observation games, so I'm not gonna say I don't care, but it doesn't really matter to me which one, who goes out there first. Because I do want to see if Deuce. Because we know we're not going to see Deuce out there first, either one out there, because we're going to see TP out there. But I do want to see how each one can handle the load. Just for players' sake, because you never know, what kind of packages they'll, come out there, rolling with. So, it'd be like I said, like I mentioned earlier, Devin Bush, he had the highest PFF score for run defense and really 6 total tackles. You know what I'm saying? They have a safety, Kobe Bryant over there. He had 5 tackles himself. So, these are some guys who like to be physical at the line of scrimmage. They had a couple 3rd and 4th down stops last week against the Vikings. They were able to hold them, just to 83 yards on 26 carries. Now, I'm not sure who the Vikings, had running out there. I know their starter now is going to be Madison now that Cook is out of there. But, I don't know who they had, off the top of my head right now, who they have running out there. But, we know we're going to, try to depend more on this, a little bit more on the running game. So I think we're, going to be able to handle it just because of the guys we do have in our running back room. But it's going to be interesting to see, because I'm sure Bush is going to be out there early, Bryant as well. And I believe another linebacker they have, Boye Mafe, I believe his name is, and he had a pretty decent score out there as well. So it'll be interesting to see who, how they hold up against them.
Yeah, I think Boye was their first round pick. last season's draft. So, or maybe their second. So, definitely want to see these guys, Rico and Deuce. I really think that's who the running back 2 battle is between. And I actually think Deuce had, when it came to blocking, I think Deuce was one of the guys that had a high blocking grade, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look, but we don't attribute too much to PFF grades because a lot of times they could be BS, right? Yeah, it's crazy. BS, but we can still, you just take their grades with a grain of salt. But I definitely want to see Rico and Deuce against these linebackers because they do have speed. I know their Mike linebacker, I can't remember his name, but he's actually pretty good. A young guy that took over for when Bobby Wagner left. We definitely want to see.
He's actually back there. When I was reading their game, he's actually going to be starting. Remember, he went back home. I forgot. I mean, we're not going to be playing him. I forgot actually the reason.
I
was like, wait a minute, because they said that Devin Bush may, depending, like you said, how he's coming back from injury, he may be starting out there with and it said Bobby Wagner. I'm like, I said, this must be an old article, and I'm like, no, he did go back to the Seahawks.
Yep, I forgot. Wagner went back home basically to retire. But it's going to be great to see the young running backs against these guys. It's also going to take our line blocking as well and get into the second level. So everybody remember that as well, because the running backs now, Deuce is Barry Sanders, Darren Sproles-ish. So he can he has the elusiveness to make something out of nothing. Rico is not really like that. He's more of like a power run type of guy downfield.
Right, I agree with you there.
So he may have a little bit more struggles if the line is not blocking. But hopefully, they look a little bit better this week, for sure.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. Like, I have a point down here that says the D-line, like their D-line likes to move fast. And like you said, even with the second level, their front seven just likes to move fast, period. And I kind of mentioned in my live yesterday that I noticed that the offense is moving just a little bit faster. I like that. But I also just want to see how they go up against this, because I'm sure we're going to be facing some fast front sevens this year, and just seeing how these young guys are coming out just for the Seahawks. Like I mentioned,
the front sevens in our division are nasty.
Right.
The Washington Commanders, the Giants. So it's really going to be actually, the front sevens in our division are probably the toughest in the league.
Right.
Not the conference, but in the league. So I really think you definitely want to see these guys show up against see our offense show up against this Seattle defense.
Yeah, they definitely, and I think I don't know how long Will Greer's going to play again, this game, but I'm hoping this kind of gets his speed up in the pocket, because I'm not saying he likes to sit back there, but I do want to see him move just a little bit faster, and I think this line will definitely give him a good test of that.
Yeah, he was not processing fast. He just seemed very jittery.
Yeah.
They met with him this week, Mike, Schottenheimer, Tolzien, and just, review what he did and try to get him to calm down. Yeah. Shout out to my guy Landlord, because he also did like a review about Cooper Rush. And we were like, oh, well, he went 10 for 12. I'm like, y'all just can't look at the box score. Y'all got to see how they played. And he was saying, like, Cooper Rush played way too conservative. He was just checking everything down. That's why he went 10 of 12. He really wasn't trying to take, any risk and things like that. And him and Cooper Rush and Will Greer were missing guys. They were wide open underneath. So it's like, kind of forcing balls into coverage and things like that. So they need to play a lot better
Most definitely
this Seattle defense, because both quarterbacks to me did not look great last week.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I didn't know the Seattle Seahawks signed Jake Bobo. I like Jake Bobo. I think he came out of UCLA.
I believe it did say, I believe it did say UCLA,
Yeah, Jake Bobo, when I watched was for the draft, like evaluating UCLA players, I mean, he shows out. So I'm not even surprised that he got TD last week, because when he was playing for UCLA, I mean, every other word was Jake Bobo. So
yeah, they did say he was having a pretty outstanding camp, and they said, as I mentioned, he did have a touchdown. They said he had, I believe, a little bit over 50 yards last week. I think 5 yards.
He's a big target. He's a big target too. So that's going to be a good test for our, backup cornerbacks, Kelvin Joseph. I don't know if Nashawn's going to play.
I was going to say.
But possibly Nashawn, Eric Scott. That's a guy that I
he can get a little bit more practice too. Yeah, kind of get his nerves kind of calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, and there was an article put out that he said he was nervous and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, we could tell. So hopefully, hopefully this week.
That's expected.
Hopefully this week, he gets in the rhythm and we see better from him, hopefully. So
just to kind of touch on just the age of this team that we're gonna. I mean, it's the second team, of course, but as I mentioned earlier, all these guys are fighting for a spot, and Drew Lock, I think, you see, he's, I think he's gonna have that, that spot pretty sewn up. Not that I care, but I don't know how many quarterbacks I'm gonna keep, but I think that young rookie is gonna try to give him a run for his money because they said he was, making some, crazy far-fetched plays, but hey, they were working for him. And these guys are, these guys are in the spot, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I think Drew Lock will likely be the starter, but just because of his experience and stuff. But hey, I mean, if the young guy balls out and Pete Carroll is more confident about him than Drew Lock, then of course, they also their starter. Well, I'm sorry, guys, their starter is going to be Geno because remember they re-signed Geno. Yeah, so their starter will be Geno, but so these guys are really competing for a quarterback. But the Seahawks, they did something weird. They did not draft a quarterback high. Like everybody thought they were going to get Hendon Hooker. Maybe Bennett, Stetson Bennett, or somebody, but they did not draft a quarterback, which means that they have faith in Geno, which I'm not surprised because they made playoffs with Geno.
Right, they did.
Geno actually had a very high passer rating and QBR and things last year. So good for Geno. Good for Geno literally being a career backup and now being a starter.
Getting his shine,
Good for Geno. It'll be interesting.
I think these young quarterbacks are gonna get this. That's why I hope these, I hope they're a little bit more tact with their game this week. Hopefully they can kind of keep that line in check. Just keep those edges sealed because I think this team is gonna be a different speed than what the Jags were.
Yeah, I do too. So they just gotta, definitely want to see the offensive line play better, for sure. This week, hopefully, that's what we're praying to the football guys for, is that they really, step it up, to get a little bit more comfortable. I think they were just a little bit scared, nervous, confused. That's how I would describe the line. It was playing scared, nervous, and confused. So hopefully they look better. Shout out to TJ Bass because TJ Bass was getting. That's a good question, Niecy. Can't even play. I have not heard fans.
Right, I've only seen him on the sideline. I was gonna say
I don't know what that's about, but he just doesn't get on the field. And,
I saw him in some of the drills out there with the tight ends, but I really even just in camp in general when I was out there, I really just didn't see him, and even maybe making a catch or two here or there, but I don't know if, like you said, I don't know if they're just not targeting him, or if he's just not getting play, or if he's just not. If he's just not popping enough to where they're just
name at all. It's almost like he's non-existent. So
it's almost like maybe he's just like a camp body they acquired. I
guess I don't.
Maybe they probably never. I'm sure they never planned on keeping this many tight ends, but they act like he's literally like right now. He's literally like a camp body right now.
Right. I feel like he's all but cut because we just have not heard his name. I mean, maybe he makes the
practice squad.
The practice squad. But I don't know. I just haven't heard nothing from him, but
at all.
But like I said, shout out to TJ Bass. Shout out to Austin Priolu, I think is his name, because those are two guys that really showed up. They're the third string, but they really showed up in the game. And they said that TJ Bass was actually getting reps with the starters at left guard. I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm like, is TJ Bass a versatile player like that, or are they once again trying to force a right side player to play on the left side? I don't know why they keep doing that. That is not an easy transition. If you look at somebody like Matt, look at all of our left guards in the past, like we talked about this. they were all forced to play their left guard position, but they're not left guards. So
yeah,
this left guard position is going to be in. Well, we know it's going to be Tyler Smith, but you know, once Tyler goes down, I kind of had went back. Shout out to my guy Henny the Moore about that, because I was high on Awesome coming out of the draft. Once we drafted him and I did like his film review and stuff, I really liked what Awesome was, you know, able to show. I'm like, there's some things that he needs to work on. But, you know, I was thinking, I was like, maybe you kick Awesome in. If Tyron goes down, you kick Awesome in, you let Tyler Smith go out.
Yeah.
I was saying, why not just keep Tyler Smith inside and then let Austin Richards develop on that left tackle spot?
Left tackle? Yeah. I mean, we did draft him. I mean, instead of having a draft, you know, draft capital next year.
Yes, he did. And he did play tackle. Okay. He did play tackle for what did he play for? North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he did play tackle for them and things like that. I don't know how the coaches are going to play it. I feel like the coaches are going to move Tyler Smith out if Tyron goes down. And I think it probably will be easier for Awesome to slide in at the left guard than be going against NFL starting defensive ends. Yeah. But, you know, we'll have to see.
Yeah, because I really don't think he's ready for that. I think he just has his feet underneath. Right, I think he just has his feet underneath them.
Because my brother tells me, he's like, there's nothing he's like, you can help out your tackles, but you really can't help out too much your interior. So if your interior is getting killed, you can't run the ball. It's constant pressure up the middle in Dak's face, so he can't really step up into the pocket. So that is something to think about. You know, maybe it would be better to keep the strength, Tyler Smith, keep the strength inside, and then just try to help Awesome on the outside. But we'll have to see, you know, how the coaches play that once that happens. But we do want to see. I want to see Waletzko ball.
Yes, and I'm so I don't mean anything against Waletzko. He was like the one I was looking forward to like the most. Like just seeing if he could just take some of the, you know, just even I know the small amount of reps, but just take the little bit of experience he had and maybe kind of get like a leg up against, you know, the rest of the line. But I mean, he has the years in. But for right now, for me, he's just like, you know, I just want to see him, you know, use his size, like get his feet just a little bit more planted in the ground. I know he's doing a little bit better, but I feel like sometimes I just see him too many times on his heels.
Yeah. Both of their base is very weak. They're not able to sustain blocks.
Right.
They got to anchor down. They need to get they need to work. They need to work on that technique a lot more. Yes. Both of them could have been in Duke Manyweather's camp, and I don't think either of them were. So
probably not.
I don't think either of them were, and so they got to step it up this week for sure.
Yeah, because it's going to take more than, I mean, not saying Zach Martin is going to be out there teaching the tackles, but it's going to take more than a couple weeks and a couple preseason games to think that you're going to be able to take someone's spot, you know, down the line in the season.
Yeah, well, Waletzko and Ball they're definitely not starting anywhere. We're just trying to get them acclimated so that they have to potentially come in for a couple of games that they can at least be serviceable. But I did not like what I saw from either of them. I did not like what I saw from Matt Farniok. Matt Farniok looked terrible. He's not a left guard. They keep trying to force him there, but he's not a left guard. Like, he's just not it. And it's very hard for a player to transition from right side to left side. So we got to figure some things out. But I'm putting my faith in you, Mike Solari. You know, I did a whole show about you and your greatness. So I'm entrusting you to figure this shit out. So,
make the right decision, please.
Yeah, because we cannot have.
We got. I hope. Hopefully. I mean, I don't know how the cuts are. I know the cuts are different this year, but hopefully, the way they can kind of maneuver them. They said hopefully there'll be somebody, you know, we can look at the cuts they make, you know, later on down the line when they start making camp cuts. Hopefully we can pick up some veteran help, you know, because I know we're going to be, you know, making some cuts of our own. So hopefully we'll be able to bring in at least some kind of veteran experience, you know, somewhere between, you know, here and the start of the season, the first couple of weeks of the season. Hopefully not that deep in the season, but hopefully just bring in just some kind of break in case of emergency type thing, like how we did last year with Peters. You know, granted, people made fun of his age, but, you know, hey, Tony Pollard has some pretty huge plays behind him. So, you know, I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So we definitely got to get some things figured out on that offensive line. But like I said, hopefully we see them. And Dennis Houston did do good. Dennis Houston, Simi Fehoko, both of those guys really did good. They were building chemistry late in the third and fourth with Will Greer. That's why I would like to see them play earlier so we can see how they do against better competition. So
I agree.
Hopefully
something more than stop runs with Simi. I don't want to see him catching the ball and then going 2-3 yards and out of bounds. I want to see
they didn't really stretch it. I don't know, and they did a lot of quick screens and stuff with Simi. I don't know if that's because they were just trying to protect him because he's recovering from his injury. But Simi needs to be stretching the field. But I appreciate that even though it was just quick stuff. He was giving us first downs and stuff like that. Yeah, but I definitely would like to see him stretch the field, do a cross. And he did do a crosser or whatever, but
I think I did see him.
He was more doing crossers as a decoy, to get somebody else open underneath. So hopefully Mike can draw up some plays.
To get his confidence up too. I mean, I'm sure everyone can use a confidence booster going into preseason.
Right.
Because everyone's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, I would like to see Mike Turpin too, because Turpin, I didn't like how Turpin played last week either, but hopefully Mike dials up some stuff. He just said today or yesterday that Turpin is dynamic and he's explosive with the ball in his hand. So I'm like, Mike, get the ball in his hand so that we can see what he did what he can do as a wide receiver.
Because we're seeing we've seen a few clips today where Turpin was getting the ball, and we've seen we didn't see in his last preseason game. Maybe we'll see the next couple ones coming up, but Turpin taking kind of handoffs in the backfield. Maybe we'll see that.
Maybe we'll see that. That's what I'm saying. Just get the ball in his hands so that we can see what he's actually able to do. I know they don't want to reveal too much, but just some things to just kind of try to give these guys a confidence booster, because that's what you use the preseason for. Because once the season starts, if they didn't have a good preseason, they kind of don't have no momentum going into the season, and then they may look flat. And if you're playing flat, that can sabotage your quarterback, where he can throw interceptions or just deflected passes or something like that, and or they're not getting open, so he's having to hold the ball too long. You just don't want that. So hopefully Mike helps them get a confidence booster this week.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah. Yep. So I think we pretty much covered everything. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to talk about in the chat. The next couple of minutes. Put anything you guys want to talk about in the chat. Just thank everyone for coming through. As we just facing the Seahawks. Seahawks team coming up. Hopefully, like Star said, they're going to see better competition this week. So we want to see these guys kind of step up their game. Add just a little bit, I guess as the theme has been, you kind of go into the season, put a little bit more details into their game. It's kind of point out, even, for them to take the film from the first game, take, what they did well, what they didn't do well. Hopefully just kind of, grind out, those details that I mentioned, just kind of put forth a better game coming up this Saturday.
Right. And we should see that, they had good practices and stuff this week on both sides of the ball. Kicker, we did not talk about the kicker, but
that's right,
he did miss an extra point.
Yeah. And he did. I think I did see that he made 5 of 6 in practice today. So I guess we didn't always expect to miss that one kick, or
right. He is from the USFL. I still think they should bring somebody in for competition, but Mike was saying that they do have faith in him.
Yeah.
So
I guess he's a young guy. It doesn't count for right now. So
he's a young guy. So we'll see how. I think the Cowboys may roll with him going into the season, unless in these next 2 preseason games he's just god awful. But I think for the most part they're probably just gonna roll with him. And,
like you said, by the time we get the other cuts, they're gonna know what other kickers may be available at the time.
Yeah, possibly. So we'll have to see how that rolls out. But other than that, and we also didn't talk about it, but you guys should know that the bring Zeke back argument or whatever is gone, because he is now a New England Patriot. So just want to take this time to say shout out to Zeke.
Yeah.
Zeke,
congratulations,
we love you. You're a Cowboy great. I wish we could have brought you back, but you know, the writing's on the wall. Your time is over as a Dallas Cowboy. You're an op now, unfortunately, and we got to play you. I think.
Yeah.
I forgot what, but we do play the Patriots.
Week 4.
Week 4. We played them this year, so we will see Zeke again. But unfortunately, he will not be on our team. Hopefully, he doesn't kill us.
Right.
But love Zeke, and all respect to him, and happy for him.
Red
getting a job.
Red. We kind of touched on Dale and Tolbert towards the beginning. You know, we kind of went over the breakout players. You know, from this past week. You know, me and Star also did videos early this week. You check out our other lives. I know we touched on these breakout players, Jalen Tolbert, Agent O.
John Stevens. Yeah, we talked about those. I talked about Wanye on Monday on my other show. But
okay. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned them. But yeah, we can talk about Wanye right quick. Yeah.
Yeah, Wanye did a phenomenal job. Obviously, he got the pick on the first drive of the game versus Trevor Lawrence. So he was really flying around, and even that one deep pass that was caught on him by that tight end. I mean, he was in great position. It was just the tight end. The ball just went right past his hands, and the tight end came up with it. So Wanye did a great job. I would like to see him continue to build. Off of what he's doing. Yeah, Wanye and I also said Marquise Bell also looked great.
Yes.
Both of those guys look great. They gave me confidence if something happens to Kurz or Dono. Both of them can step right on in.
Tyler Coyle too. He didn't really flash too much in the game, but also hopefully we'll see a little bit more. I didn't really see a lot from as we mentioned. Eric Scott. We didn't see a lot of flashing from him either. You know, kind of the deeper, kind of guys deeper on the depth chart. Miles Brooks. We did actually saw him a little bit late in the fourth quarter. I hope hopefully we'll see guys like him kind of start earlier in the game, like you mentioned before.
Right. Yeah. Just to try to get. Yeah, hopefully, we see them a little bit earlier. Hope Parsons.
I agree with you. I got agree with you, Miss Nisi. Like for real, like I love me some Parsons, but save. I'm not saying save all the energy, but just save this kind of, But I don't want to see punches thrown. You know what I'm saying? I understand shoving and stuff like that, but punches thrown is like I don't need to see that with my boys. I gotta be honest with you. I understand attitude and all that. But
he's just a hot hit. He is a young fire.
Yes.
He do gotta, I'm okay. Mike, if you want to throw a punch at Biage, whatever, I just want you to stay away from that. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And same Williams.
I'm holding the line and we gotta do it. I'm like, Micah, let me tell you something, buddy. If that goes down, no.
Right.
So it's like, please.
Yeah, don't play with my quarterback.
Stay away from him. That's all I ask. Like, if you got to take out your anger on Biadasz or whoever.
Right.
Have that.
It was going at it. I can't believe that.
That's all I can do. Do not touch him. Yeah, we talked about Overshown and Isaiah Land too, Rev. So go back in the show. We talked about them though. But both of those guys, they really showed up and showed out. Very, very proud of them. What you say?
Just didn't like that they had the chance to sack the Jaguars QB and somehow escape 5 tackles for a passing touchdown. Yeah, that play did, kind of sting a little bit with the young quarterback from Canada. I believe Rourke was his name. I mean, we see that. I mean, like I said, it's preseason. Preseason is one of the things that could happen. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, like the Seahawks, they had crazy plays happen in their game as well. So sometimes
sometimes quarterbacks are hard.
Yeah. Right.
Quarterbacks are hard you really have to contain them and honestly spy them kind of, because they can break away and they're really easy they can escape. That's why they're bold. So you have to take the right angles and stuff like that. So that's just stuff that the young guys are going to have to work on, because even D-Law should have had double-digit sacks last year. Yeah. But he missed a lot of tackles because of the angles and because of mobile quarterbacks. They're faster than you. They can get around you. You know what I'm saying? But I do think also D-Law, he was suffering from his foot fracture and stuff like that too. So I think that also affected him. But there's a lot that you go in with mobile quarterbacks. I don't think Dan Quinn's focusing too much on that, because he's just trying to evaluate the players to see who he can add in on his rotation. So, but I do. Obviously, we have to have a plan for Sam Howell. You have to have a plan for Daniel Jones. You have to have a plan for Jalen Hurts, because they are extremely mobile quarterbacks. So, we have faith, and I definitely have faith. There's one thing that I learned from this game versus the Jaguars is that our defense is legit. And
what's up, Eastside?
He's so watching it.
Right. Yeah, anyway, you got it, Eastside. You got it, Eastside. But you got Tunsil over there, right? And hey, kudos to you with having Tunsil. But we'll keep our tank over here. We good with our tank.
Exactly. Yeah, but anyway, I'm not gonna deal with Eastside. But the defense just showed that they are legit. Our second team defense wouldn't have given up a single touchdown to the Jags had not Turpin fumbled. So I think our defense is just they're shooting for number one in the league.
Yeah, they really are.
I think if they are top 1 to 3, that is a huge win for us. So
we were already I think top 5 last year. Wasn't we top 5 last year?
We didn't even finish. We finished like top 15.
For defense? Oh, wow.
Yeah. We did not finish high last year. Remember, we started off hot and then.
Oh, we started off right. Oh, okay.
We
were keeping teams under like 20 points, but then we kind of got away from us.
Yeah, teams started to counteract our pass rush and stuff like that, and so we tailed off at the end of the season. But this year, I would hope that we can say with this depth, we should be able to stay strong and consistent.
Yeah. Or at least I think we're gonna say just consistent. Mm-hmm.
We focus. And another thing that you saw from our defense is eye discipline.
Yeah.
You saw eye discipline, and you really just saw them like playing fast, and I think that's going to go a long way for us because eye discipline was what really got us. And eye discipline, but also contain because teams were killing us on those edges. And if y'all watched us how we played against the Jaguars, that crap wasn't working. Because remember when the Jaguars won the game, they started scoring because they started attacking us on the edges. They started play faking us and getting huge plays. But they were like, not today. So it seemed like Dan Quinn really focused on discipline. That's what I was able to see from the defense. And I think that's why we were able to dominate. Because you got to do your job. We were so focused on pass rush last season that we started letting people were like, okay, well, how about we just gonna do nothing but quick passes and we're gonna run the ball, and like that's how teams like Green Bay and the Jaguars freaking beat us. So
and I agree with you as far as just because I did notice that we didn't have nearly as many. I mean, I didn't count them or anything like that, but I noticed we didn't have that many penalties either. On the other side.
Right, they talked about that in the game. Like we didn't have penalties. We had very, very minimal penalties. Like so, this team is just they have really, really focused in. And I agree with you, Red. We definitely gonna see what happens against these Seahawks. As I told y'all before, please, we're not really worried about wins and losses.
Right.
How you doing? It's just we're here to evaluate the players. So hopefully the players that we talked about in this show and our previous shows that, they show up, and the players that already showed up, they just continue to build. And we see them earlier against better competition.
Yeah, so guys, we appreciate you coming through on this Wednesday. Like I said, midweek. We almost to the weekend, y'all. Make sure you guys, hang in there. We almost done with the work week. Thanks for spending you guys this Wednesday evening with us. Make sure you guys tap in next week for another episode of StarChasers, Girls Talk Ball. And I hope you guys have a great evening. We got you guys later.
Yes, and just please, like we said, please share, please like, please subscribe, please turn on your notification bells, and follow us on all our social medias. And if y'all feel so kindly, donate to our Cash App so that we can continue to put out the best content we can for you guys. Thank you so much, and you guys have a good night. Peace.
Yes. Good night, you guys. See you later.